Happy lunch hour, gang. All right, if we wanted to, we could talk about all sorts of fun stuff today, like the state of Texas commissioning a study that found out that the cost to fuel an electric car is the equivalent of $17 a gallon. We could talk about the fact that U.S. troops are fighting, actually have battles, skirmishes at least, in Syria. We could talk about all of that. But it doesn't affect us right now. Okay, the ramifications of it may affect us down the road, but not affecting us now. So I wanted to talk about a topic today that probably goes quite overlooked in your preps, if you will. Okay. Now imagine the power goes out, we have an EMP, imagine we go to war or whatever, and we are starting to live a more 1800s lifestyle, let's put it this way, where, okay, after a few weeks, few months, whatever it would be, there is no more gasoline, all right? You're not driving a car somewhere. You're not driving a motorcycle or anything like that. But you still need to go places, say it's a local market, I don't want to say black market, but let's say like a roadside market or somewhere where there's a trading post. Let's just use that as an example. Let's say you need to go somewhere to get water. Say you need to go somewhere to get firewood, all those things. Anybody kind of picking up on where I'm going with this? Coming back with whatever you have collected, be it, I don't know, fruits and vegetables or meat or something from a trading post, be it water from somewhere, being collecting firewood, you're going to need to carry it somehow. And this is something that I think people really start to forget on everything that you prep. As much as we have everything and try to get everything nearby, close by, you're going to need to go to get stuff. How are you going to bring it back? All right. Now you go to the grocery store, you put all your groceries in a cart, right? But do you push that cart out to your car and unload the spaghetti sauce and the noodles and the gallon of milk or whatever and just put it all in your trunk? No, you put it in a bag. There ain't going to be any more bags. Okay. We have our dry goods stored in 5 gallon buckets. Do you have extra 5 gallon buckets to maybe store more dry goods? Or I don't know, maybe to carry water? Okay. How about that firewood? Now, a lot of people say you can easily do this out of cordage. All right. Do you have some strong rope that you can tie? Little spool of dollar store twine isn't going to do you squat. I mean, paracord may be okay, but you're not going to be able to carry a lot. Do you have anything where you can tie a couple of good not ricks, but bundles of firewood on each end and strap it over your shoulder so you can carry, you know, a night's worth of firewood? Do you have the material or materials to transport whatever you need? Because when there aren't any more bags, there isn't any more place to get buckets. There's not going to be any place to get string unless you can figure out how to make how to make your own cordage and there's material around to do it. Do you have those things? I mean, let's talk about simple one. How about disposing of your trash? You're still going to create garbage. And, it's all funny when people say, oh, I'm fine. I'll use paper plates and plastic silverware. Plastic silverware can probably be washed. Paper plates, not so much. So you're going to throw them out. You're going to burn them. But I will also bet that you have a whole lot of stuff in your preps that is in plastic. Not a good idea to burn that. Okay, and I'm not talking environmentally. You ever burn plastic, you send up nice big black plumes of smoke. that might ruin your OPSEC a little bit when there's all this black smoke floating up from this one area. How are you going to get water? Have you thought about that? Ever picked up a 5-gallon bucket of water? How heavy that is? Try carrying 2 of them. You got 2 hands. Okay, I mean, you're now talking somewhere around 40, 45 pounds in each hand with the full bucket. Do you have a lid on it so you don't splash half of it away as you're walking home with it? And how far away is your water source? How are you going to get it? You know, a lot of people will say, hey, a good idea is to have a bicycle. Totally agree. And I'm not even saying an e-bike. If you got an e-bike and you can charge it, great. I'm talking about a regular old-fashioned pedal the bike, go on. Do you have a rack on the back of that bike where you can put saddlebags? Do you have saddlebags? Where you could make makeshift saddlebags, say out of milk cartons. Do you have milk cartons? Where you could put a tote on the back of it and strap it down. Put a couple of holes through the bottom of it. Strap it down with the bungee cord. Do you have a tote? Do you have bungee cords? Okay. How are you going to move the material that you need? It's not going to be convenient at all when you go, I'm thirsty, I'm going to walk down to the stream a half a mile to go get myself a drink of water. By the time you walk all the way back, you're thirsty again. Okay, you need to rehydrate. You're going to have to bring it back. Are you going to cook right down by that stream? Because you're probably going to need water for all those dry goods you have. Rice is kind of useless without any sort of moisture to add to it. Noodles, dried beans, whatever. Crunching on dried beans, not a good idea. Having stuff is great, but the practicality of how you're going to use it is think beyond the tip of your nose. You've got an axe, great. You got chainsaw, you got fuel for the chainsaw for however long that lasts. But how close is the nearest place where you can get firewood? If it's a half a mile away, that's a haul carrying firewood. Do you have something like a sled? Okay, and I mean, I don't care if it's a little radio flyer that you want to use for like you had in the snow, but do you even have a sheet of plastic, thicker plastic, firm plastic, that you can use as a sled that 2 people can grab a rope on each side and pull it? I mean, I'm not even talking about if you have the ability to have a horse or mules or something that can pull it. How are you going to move that? Do you know what your capabilities are of moving it? Do you know the terrain around you so you can get there? I mean, if you're pulling on sand, not too bad. Okay? If you're going, well, yeah, there's a lot of great trees, over here in this valley, and we can go cut from there, sure. It's all rocky. You ever tried pulling a load up a hill with just your back? Okay? Yeah. That takes a little bit of effort. A lot of us will say, oh, gee, I've got a 4-wheeler, or I've got, some sort of mechanical way. Mind you this, the mechanical stuff we have is only going to last as long as the fuel does. And, Mad Max, what was the big thing everybody wanted in the Mad Max movies? Gasoline, because they ain't going to be making any more of it. And any that could possibly be got, I can guarantee you the government is going to be the one taking that. It's not going to, you're not going to go down to the local Walmart gas station or grocery store gas station and be able to fill gas cans full of gas. And how much do you have stored? 8, 10, 5-gallon things of gas? Great, you got 40 or 50 gallons of gas. How long is that going to last you? Well, I'll ration it. How much gas do you go through now? I mean, and I'm not talking about driving for work. Take the driving to work out of it, okay? How much gas do you go through? A tank a month on just going to the store, doing whatever you need? Yeah, okay. Eventually it gets to the point where you're going to have to start hauling stuff by physical labor. Like I said, whether it's yours or whether you're lucky enough to have animals that can do it. Have you given thought to how you are going to move that material? There's a lot of different ways you can do it. And again, you're going to have to come up with those solutions on your own. because you know the terrain in which you live in. But, I mean, I'll give you a simple one. How many people have you heard say, I'm going to go hunting and I'm going to get a deer? Okay? You go hunting, you go get a deer. You're 5 miles away from your base camp. How are you getting it home? These are the things people don't think. We get so tunnel vision about the mechanical stuff that we use every day that we forget what happens if that's gone. Sure, it's great. You go out, get a deer, you throw it on the back of the four-wheeler and you pull it out. Maybe you drag it out of the woods or whatever. You know, a lot of you guys know what dragging a deer is like, okay? And then you strap it to the front of the car or throw it in the bed of the pickup truck. But what if there isn't a pickup truck? Okay? What if there isn't a car and you've got to get that thing all the way home? You know, sure, maybe you quarter it out and bring home the meat off of it. Now, if you got the deer by yourself, it's going to be a lot of trips back and forth. And by the time you come back for the second one, I pretty much bet you that the bugs and the other animals, let alone maybe some other people, found what's left that you couldn't carry. It's things like this to think about. What makes true preparedness is thinking about outside the box. How many times we talk about do a test, shut off your power in your house for a weekend and see how you make it. Try to go through a week without anything mechanical, okay? Where you have no gasoline, where you can't drive your car. Granted, I know it's going to work, okay? But think about all the things that you have to do in an SHTF situation and imagine how you're not going to be able to use a mechanical means of doing it and come up with a solution. Pinball